Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and this is my after-action review vlog of Electrify Expo 2024, alright? This was the San Francisco one. They have them at several different places around the country, and the closest one they have is the one in San Francisco, okay? And technically, it's not really San Francisco, it's Alameda, alright? Alameda is like across the bay from San Francisco, so they say it's Electrify Expo San Francisco, but it's actually in Alameda, guys, okay? So I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to tell my story, alright, basically, alright? I'm just going to tell you what was supposed to happen and what really happened, alright? So yeah, I was looking at the Electrify Expo. I think I saw it on Instagram or something. That's how I heard about it. That's how I heard about it this year, but I'm pretty sure I heard about it last year and I wanted to go, but I couldn't go for some reason, alright? I had some other obligation during that time, but this time I was able to go. I was free this weekend. There was no races this weekend, and yeah. So, and then I saw that actually wanted to race. They actually race. They race unicycles and skateboards. All right, guys. It was kind of cool watching them and everything. Race, but how come they don't race motorcycles? I don't understand. Like small Suron bikes or something, or yeah. It was just like a little. It's a course that they made on the asphalt with those plastic blocks and stuff. But yeah, they didn't have anything for motorcycles, so unfortunately, HadesOmega couldn't race at this event. All right. So I found out that they have something called the Electrify Showoff. All right, guys. So and that's pretty much was my ticket into the expo. Basically, is what I'm gonna say. All right, so they have this. It's called the EV Showoff, all right, or Electrify Showoff, something like that. And yeah, you just go over there, and it's like a car show type deal, all right. But in this case, we brought Ultra Redshift SM39. I thought, like, hey, what a rad bike to bring to this show, and show people like the Ultra Redshift, all right. So and I'll talk about like all everything that happened, But okay, so anyways, yeah. So that was the plan, to enter the Ultra Redshift SM39 into the Showoff. Really, I haven't really done too much modifications to this bike, and most of them is performance modifications, not stuff that looks good. Besides the rim stickers, I guess. So the showy stuff I have on the bike are the rim stickers, I guess the hand guards, and yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not in pristine condition because it's a 6-year-old. Yeah, it's a 6-year-old bike now. All right, guys. Okay, yeah. So it's a 6-year-old bike now, guys. So it's not like fresh off the showroom floor type of thing. All right, but it's still in very good shape. HadesOmega's crashed it a couple times. I gotta lie. Okay. Yeah, I think I crashed it once at Metcalf on the trails. All right. I crashed it during flat track race, alright, and then I crashed it after at Apex karting track. Okay, I ran it into a barrier, and yeah, I messed up the front a little bit. Alright, and it was one of those plastic barriers like the ones we'd be racing with. Okay, so that's a scoop. It's not the prettiest looking bike. Alright, it's what I wanted to go for was it's not really a show bike, it's a racing bike, alright? So I wanted to show off my racing bike, okay, guys? And so one of the cool things about the Ultra Redshift is it was made in San Francisco, alright? South San Francisco to be exact, alright? But it's still San Francisco. What better place to show it off than the place of its birth, okay? Even though we were in Alameda, okay, guys? But yeah, whenever I said, like, yeah, it was just built right over there, I would point across over the bay to San Francisco. And yeah, this was built over there, It's an American-made electric motorcycle, and for its time, it was the best electric dirt bike out there, And what cooler bike to show off than this, all right? So I also could show off the Lightbee. The Lightbee is all battled out. That's what I'm saying. It's all bruised and battered, is what I want to say. So the difference between the Lightbee and this bike is the Lightbee has a shit ton of mods. There's like if I'm if I had to make a list of the mods on the Lightbee, it would just be ridiculous, right? This bike, not very many mods. It didn't take me a lot to get this thing race ready, all right? This thing was born to race, okay, guys? That's all I'm gonna say. Right? It's a street legal supermoto race bike, okay? Is what it is, all right? You just have to do a minimal amount of stuff, and you can race with it already, okay, guys? Very you know, it truly was the best of its time, right? Type of thing. Okay, so yeah, that was the plan. We're gonna enter this in the show. All right. They have different categories. I think they had like a bicycle category, like best SUV, best motorcycle, right? What else did they have? They had like a best outdoorsy EV, best conversion. All right, they had conversions there. Best paint job, you know, that kind of stuff. All right. HadesOmega is not, you know, I'm not really into that stuff. All right. HadesOmega is you know how they say all show no go. Well, HadesOmega is the opposite. All right. It's all go and no show. All right. But hey, I tried to make it as pretty as I could. Okay. So so yeah. So it was $30 to enter the bike. All right. And I had to fill out an application form for it. Okay, so on their website, you fill out an application form. You put like, hey, this is my bike. These are the things I've done to it. Yada yada yada. And then I got nothing. All right, no reply. I was like, that's weird. Nobody replied. Like, I think you send a picture of your bike, and you send like 2 pictures of your bike. I was hoping that they would have like I did something similar. I did the Gundam. I did the Gunpla Builders World Cup before, and I entered something, and they gave me a little name placard to put on my thing. All right, I was hoping they'd have something like that. They would make a placard for your whatever you're showing off, and then they'll have like pictures of your bike doing stuff. All right, and then like a list of modifications and specs and stuff. But no, they didn't have anything like that. So there you go. So that's gonna be one of the proofs for next year. All right, if I do this again next year, guys. All right, if I'm able to do it next year, is to make placards that say information placards. Okay, all right, with pictures of the bike, and yeah. So also my plan was to bring some trophies and then just show it off next to the bike. All right. So, because like, yeah, this is a bike I actually race. Okay, and also there was a trophy for best performance EV, all right, and like I raced this one, guys. So it's a fast bike. What the heck, man? All right, anyway, yeah. Okay, so that's a scoop. So I applied for it, and I heard crickets, man. And then about 2 weeks before the show, I get an email from Neil. Okay, and Neil is the guy that runs the show. All right, basically, yeah, he's the guy that runs the show. All right, and yeah, I got an email saying like, hey, you got this email because you applied for the Showoff, and then this is XYZ. This is what's gonna happen. The week before, you'll get an email on where you need to go to load your vehicle for the Showoff and that stuff. Okay, HadesOmega's I've never done like a car show or anything like that. I've gone to like meets and stuff where they do like show stuff, but I've never gone to like an official one. All right. And HadesOmega tries to enter as many of these EV events as possible, all right? Because like EV is kind of like a new thing, you know. I know like EVs are kind of like in decline right now, but like yeah, it's still kind of a new thing, you know. And there's not that much competition out there for it, I just want to say. And HadesOmega's been in the EV game for quite a while, all right? My first electric motorcycle, I bought it in 2016, guys. So yeah, I've almost been in the EV dealie for like 10 years now. Oh my god, yeah. It's been a while, alright? And it's changed a little bit, is what I say. There's definitely more models out there now, okay? So yeah, so that's a scoop. And yeah. So, and then also you have to pay the $30, so I paid the $30. And then so with that, you get the wristbands, alright? So I got this you're supposed to get the wristbands so you can go into the show and stuff, all right? And it's like supposedly it's for the weekend. So what I learned is that they give you like 2 tickets. Basically, they're the wristbands that you wear around your wrist. It says Showoff on it, so you're part of the Showoff dealie. and they just let you come and go, whatever. And yeah, so you get to do all that fun stuff, alright? And you get 2 of them, alright? So you can bring a guest with you, and it's for the whole weekend, alright? I didn't know that. I thought it was for each day. So I probably could have gave my ticket to somebody else, alright, as well as say. If somebody wanted to go, but I didn't know it worked like that until I got there. Okay. Anyway, so the load-in day, load-in day is like Friday, all right. But you can also go before it opens and then stage your bike and everything, all right. But I can't ride this to the event, guys. It's in Alameda, and HadesOmega lives in San Jose, and I would run out of charge before I got here. Okay. Definitely I would run out of charge, okay? It's like 40 miles, so it would totally run out of charge, all right? Unless I had somewhere to charge it, and I had to ride it slow as balls. Okay, so yeah, no, that's a no-go on that. So I had to come down on Friday. So what I did is I came in, I think from 9 to 5 you can come in, so I came around noon or something. The traffic was awful, guys, on a Friday, going 880 to Alameda. It was awful, guys. But yeah, I put the red shift on the back of the RAV4 on the Moto Jack rack, and then I drove it there, and then yeah, you go into the back. Yeah, you go into the back area and you tell them, hey, I'm part of the Showoff, and then they escort you to where the Showoff area is, and they're like, okay, you can put your bike right here, okay? I brought a stand. It's back there somewhere, right? I brought a what is it? I brought a pit stand, okay? Yeah. One of those pit stands that holds the back of the bike up so it looks cooler. Okay, it was my shiny Hammer Freight one, so it looks cool, right? And it's a paddock stand. That's what it's called. Yeah. So yeah, I dropped it over there. I met Neil. Okay, Neil, and there's the other. I forget his name, man. Sorry. and yeah, a lot of people ask questions about the bike and stuff, and like, hey, this and that. I met the guy at the Falcon and Dunlop booth. And they had a EV Ninja there, all right. And unfortunately, I couldn't ride. I know I should ask them, like, hey, can I ride it around here? And then they had a little electric KTM bike they were showing off too. But I don't think that was part of the show. Okay, and yeah, so that's a scoop. I dropped the bike off. I took some pictures. Check them out. Okay, and I took some pictures with the RAV4 also. Check it out. Okay, yeah, I could probably enter the RAV4 in the Showoff, man. I have a couple of dress-up mods on my car, is what I say, all right? Anyway, so the scoop is we got done with all that stuff, all right? The cool thing, also another cool thing is the USS Hornet Museum is like across the water from where we're at, so it's pretty cool. You can see it in the background and everything. Pretty rad, right? I've actually been there before too, so cool place to visit. Okay, yeah. So I go home for the day. I go back to work, and then I come back the next morning, all right? And I come back on the KLR 650, all right? You can't see it, but it's sitting right next to me in my garage, okay? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I ride the KLR 650 up there. I wish I'd been able to ride it up on Friday because the traffic was awful on Friday. Saturday, traffic was not so bad. It's not too hard to get to Alameda, as I'm going to say. Yeah, I just kind of remembered it. And the parking is awful, guys. There's not a lot of parking at all. That's what I'm going to say, all right? But yeah, I parked at the front, and then I walked in through the front. And my bike was already there, like I mentioned, okay? I was going to bring the trophies, but I decided I don't want to bring the trophies on my motorcycle. It might get all scratched up and stuff, so I brought them the next day, okay? But, okay, so here's what happened the first day. I go there, and I think they got my bike is already all set up. I kind of put my stuff there. They have an area where you can like hang out, and people will walk by, and then they ask questions about your bike, type of thing, right? Well, HadesOmega's had wasn't gonna hang out at the bike or the the EV Showoff booth area. for a very long. Okay, guys. So when you go in, there's a yeah. So here's how it works. All right, guys. So you go in, you gotta get a wristband. All right, you gotta pay for it and stuff, and then you can go in. It's really cheap. It's like I think it's like $30. I think not very expensive is what I'm gonna say. All right, and you have access to all the demo ride stuff. So HadesOmega's plan on Saturday was to demo ride all the motorcycles. All right, so that was my plan from the very beginning. That's the reason I wanted to go, was so I could do demo rides on motorcycles. And guess what? They didn't really have any motorcycles, guys. All right, per se. All right, they had bikes like the Suron. All right, so. RAR was there. I've ridden a RAR before. They had a little, so they have a demo ride course, all right. So I'll tell you what they did have there, okay, guys. They had displays, all right. They had manufacturer displays, all right, or vendor displays, type of thing. Like Nissan was there, Toyota was there. Yes, Toyota was there, guys. Even though they don't really have an EV, they only had one, the BZ4X, right? Well, actually, they do. They have two. They have the hydrogen, the Mirai, right? But what else? Yeah. They had like a Formula E Nissan race car. That was pretty rad. Check that out. Yeah, all right. Hyundai was there. Ford was there. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Volvo was there. Lexus is there. So yeah, if you wanted to go, it's a great event where you can go and you can see the cars. You can go and walk, get inside. You know, do all that. That's the show area, the vendor area. That's the very first part as you walk in. Okay. And then then there's the Showoff area, all right? So the Showoff area, and then they have all the cars there so people can see them and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of Teslas, guys, all right? That's what I say. All right, there's some Rivians, there's some Cybertrucks, they had some conversions. There's a converted Boxster, one of those, yeah, and then there was like some hot rod thingy, yeah, those all those stuff. And so yeah. So here's the stuff we had for the bike side of the show. Okay, we had my bike, all right, for in the motorcycle category, and then we had a Zero SR. Okay, so there was a Zero. My only competition, guys. There was only one other motorcycle, guys. It was a Zero SR. It was a cafe'd out Zero SR. It had these clip-on handlebars, and the dude like 3D printed a bunch of stuff for the bike, like the grips and the fairing and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's an SR. It's kind of a common electric motorcycle. I just want to say, right? It's not rare like the Alta, man. All right, I've only ever seen like maybe 2 other Alta Redshift SMs. Okay. So there's that. That was it. That was the competition. Alta Redshift SM and a Zero SR. Okay, guys. And I guess yeah. Okay, so there was a guy that had like a high-powered e-bike. Okay, so he was in the e-bike category. I got to meet him. He's a pretty cool guy. I chatted with him for a while. He had a bunch of Fox stuff on the bike, and he was wearing Fox gear. It was a moped. Pretty much, all right. Yeah, kind of like a Suron with pedals or something. It was I think it was called the E-straps or something. And it is a pretty very very powerful electric bike. Okay, and he said he can go like 80 or like 100 miles with it. That's pretty impressive. All right. Yeah, and it looked kind of like. It was bigger than the Light Bee, I'll tell you that. It was kind of like an Ultra Bee. It was like an Ultra Bee size, okay, guys. And it was a hub motor, and then there was the other bike. I think for that for the bicycle category was a recumbent bike. Okay, that's the one where you just kind of sit and then you pedal like this, right? Sorry for my poor demonstration, but yeah. I've never actually ridden one. but it had like a, I think it had like a 24-volt motor, and then you know, it had the gear drive and everything. And it was kind of cool. It was built on a like a beam platform or something, and you could move stuff around on it. You could modify stuff. They were showing me all this cool stuff you could do with it. Pretty rad. Just want to say, I think I don't know. I've never ridden one of those. Okay. And you could. They were showing me you could just swap the batteries real quick. It was like a big. It was kind of like a prismatic cell, sorta, or maybe a big lipo battery. I'm not sure, man. But yeah, it was something like that. When you know what it reminded me of is of my the electric bike that I built out of that Harley Davidson mountain bike. It was using the same motor, the 24-volt motor or 30, whatever, however many volts it was, and then it has a little gearbox in it. Yeah, and I broke it, by the way, guys. Okay, so that was the scoop there. All right, so that was pretty much everything that was at our booth, alright guys? And then they had a bunch of like other little bikes. There's a Jackrabbit bike and some other small bikes, but they weren't part of the show-off. They were part of, Neil, the guy that was running the show, they were like his bikes that he was trying to show off. Super 73 was there, yep. I'm surprised not many other people brought Super 73s. I think that's technically a bicycle, yeah? That would be like, that's like a moped, okay? Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it for the show-off area. Alright, it was pretty cool. They did have motorcycles. They had BMW was there, right? BMW was there, and they were showing their CE. I don't even want to call them motorcycles, man. They were more like scooters, okay? They had the CEO2 and the CEO4, alright? I think that I put a subtitle below if that's what it was. I took a couple pictures of it. And some videos. Alright, yeah, definitely check the video out, like when I go through the show, sort of. I made a video while I was there, okay? But this is just kind of the recap of everything that happened. Alright, so yeah, HadesOmega's main, so I came with all my riding gear on. I'm ready to go ride, you know, and they had no electric motorcycles to demo, unfortunately. I saw a picture somewhere that they were doing demo rides on the Rivet Anthem, and I had never gotten to ride one of those. I was like, oh hey, it would be worth it to go, you know, ride that. Livewire might be there, but I don't really want to ride a Livewire, man. Zero might have been there. No, there were no electric motorcycle manufacturers there showing their stuff off. I can't, well, except for BMW, like I mentioned, but they didn't let you ride it. So I should ask them, hey, can I ride it? Can I ride it around in that little course? Yeah, anyway. Okay, so they did have two-wheel motorcycle demos, alright, but they were bikes like the Suran, alright? They had the RAR Mantis, alright? I got to ride that at Laguna Seca already, so I wasn't like, I don't really want to ride it. And I did get videos for all. There was a bike called a Naxion, alright? That was an interesting bike. It was kinda like a Super Cub. That's what it reminded me of when I was riding it. It didn't have a whole lot of lean angle. The foot pegs dragged really easy. I got to take it for a ride. Definitely check that video out. Okay, guys? It was like a smart e-bike, alright? And yeah, it was I would say like the closest gas equivalent bike to it was a Super Cub, okay? So it was pretty cool. It was a smart bike. It had like a smart key or something. It had you can even, there's a little a charge port, that the door that like opens and stuff. It's pretty rad, man. It's a high tech Super Cub is what it is. All right, basically. That's the only thing I can compare it to, man. And I don't know, it was okay. It had a lot of weird quirks to it. Like if you stood up on the foot pegs, it would put the bike into like a snail mode. There was different ride modes and stuff, but it wasn't very fast, guys, and you couldn't really lean it a whole lot. It was, but it was, I guess it was fun to ride. I think if you're looking for like a city bike or something, that would be pretty good. I think they're street legal too. Yeah. Anyway, I got to ride that. Check that video out, okay, guys? And then they had there's a new XQ3i or something. I think that's what man, it had some goofy-ass name. I'll just call it the Neo bike, okay? So it kind of looks like a would say it's kind of like the RAR Mantis, okay? You know how the RAR Mantis, like, so there's the Talaria, right? There's the Suron, you get Talaria, and the Talaria is a little bit big, just a little bit bigger than the Suron, right? And then you've got the RAR. The RAR is a little bit bigger than the Talaria, right? Well, the Neo bike is like kind of the size of a RAR, okay? Like a RAR Mantis, okay? That's a scoop, right, guys? And I rode it, and I did get a video of me riding it, all right? I had my helmet with my helmet camera, and we rode it on the little test course that they had there. And I tried to rip on it, all right, guys, but it was kind of scary to ride. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It had some decent power, but it was kind of weird. It kind of felt like the front end wanted to tuck all the time. The front wanted to tuck all the time, and then the back tires don't want to. They didn't want to hook up at all. You're trying to ride like a dirt bike on the asphalt. Okay, yeah. I got to ride it, and it was kind of sketchy. Right? I'm not gonna lie. Maybe if it were riding it in the dirt or something, but yeah, it felt like it wanted to tuck in all the time. I'm surprised not more people crashed them. That's what I say. But it had some decent power, and like the build quality looked pretty good. It was still using mountain bike parts though, so it's just like, yeah, I'm not really interested in stuff like the Light Bee anymore, man. HadesOmega's looking for something more substantial like an Ultra Bee, okay? So yeah, they didn't have anything like that. Suron wasn't there, Talaria wasn't there, but RAR was there, okay? So after I rode the Neo bike, all right, I rode the RAR. But they wouldn't let me use my helmet, alright? You had to use their stinky ass helmets, okay? So I was like, dang it. Well, I had a headstock anyway, so I wore my headstock. They were spraying the helmets with some kind of disinfectant or something every time somebody. And I was like, why can't I just ride with my own helmet? What the hell, dude? Maybe they didn't want you to get video of it or something. The other ones, they let me ride with my helmet. So yeah. So that was the dealie. But yeah, as when I got on the RAR and I rode it, I deliberately picked the one that where the knobbies were all worn out. They're like, the knobbies aren't very knobby anymore. And yeah, I rode it, and I'm like, man, and I have to say, hands down, the RAR handled much better than that Neo bike, man. The XQ3i or whatever it's called. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had much more fun riding the RAR. The RAR was much more stable, is what I'm gonna say, okay? And it had a good amount of power still. Okay, I've ridden the RAR before. Pretty fun bike to ride. It probably no match for my Light Bee. I just want to say, all right. I still like the Light Bee. Okay, so that was it. There's and then they do have a. So yeah. There's the racetrack. Okay, there's a racetrack. So right next to kind of the Electrify Showoff was the racetrack. Like it was kind of like in the middle of everything, kind of where the Showoff area was. And that's where you did the unicycle and the skateboard races, okay? It was pretty cool watching that. Unfortunately, they didn't race any electric bikes. I should have asked them, like, hey, can we take a spin on the course? I should have asked them, like, hey, can we do, like, an exhibition, like a motorcycle exhibition on the track? So people could see how fast the bikes are, on the course. Maybe next year I'll see if I could do that type of thing. Like, yeah, we put all my gear on and we go rip it on the course, so it'll be fun. I'm pretty sure man, I have to say those unicycles were really fast, but I think we could probably blaze past those skateboards on this for sure. Okay, so yeah, there was that area. It was a racetrack, so it was kind of a cool place to hang out and watch them do their thing, right by the water. And then they had an e-bike area. All right, so like bicycles, all right, electric bicycles. The ones that got a pedal, guys, and so they had like a whole bunch of those. Yeah, a lot of them. There must have been at least 10 vendors out there demoing bikes, and you basically they had a course similar to the one for the e-bikes, the electric motorcycles, the electric dirt bikes. All right. Okay, and then they had the vehicle demo area all the way in the back. All right. So who was there? They had. Toyota was there, Hyundai was there, Volvo was there, Ford was there, and the Lexus was there, Nissan was there, and Tesla and Rivian were there. All right, Tesla and Rivian were all the way at the back. Okay, and guess what? They had the Cybertruck. All right, HadesOmega got to drive a Cybertruck, but I'll talk about that when we get there. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so I was like, well, I'm done riding all the motorcycles I could ride. We might as well go see if we can drive some of these cars, right? And I have my helmet, and my plan was to put my helmet on and to use the helmet camera to drive if they would let me. All right, so I believe so. The first thing I did was I did the Ford hot laps. All right, so Ford had a Mustang Mach-E out there, there was a kind of like a little course. It's not quite an oval, but yeah, it's a little. They had a little autocross course where they were like drive really fast, and sometimes they would do drifting too. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of liked the Mach-E. After I drove it, I was like, man, you know what? I probably would buy one of those. Okay, so they had that, and they had professional race drivers driving them and stuff, and then you would hop in the passenger seat, and then they would drive real fast in it. So, and they were called Mach-E hot laps or something. So I signed up for that, and when you sign up for that, you can drive the Fords at the Ford booth. All right. But so I did one lap on the hot laps, and they said you can go do as many as you want if you want. So I was like, I'm good doing one. I got a taste of of what it can do, type of thing. And I have to say, I drove it later, and it's a lot of fun to drive the Mach-E. I kind of like it. So what is the next thing HadesOmega wanted to try? I think I did Hyundai next. Okay, so they had the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Okay. And I've been watching YouTube. I watched Misha Karadin. Okay, he drove one on the Nürburgring. And I was like, dude, that's a pretty rad car. And like, it's kind of weird. It makes an engine noise, and it kind of drives like a gas car. You can shift it and stuff if you want to. Yeah, it has like simulated engine sounds and stuff. I was like, man, I gotta drive one of these. So, and they had it there. I can't believe Hyundai would have that there, right? I mean, they had the Ioniq 5. They had like the 6 and some other stuff. But I was interested in the 5N. Okay, guys. So I got to drive in it. I asked if I could wear my helmet. I should have. The guy in the car was really cool, man. I was chatting it up with him and stuff, and he was saying like, yeah, they took it to Buttonwillow and they ripped on it really hard. So yeah, I think that was my first demo drive. All right. I asked him if I could wear my helmet, but he didn't know. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just put it in the back. So I left it in the back of the car. Bad idea, guys. I should have anchored it somewhere, all right? Okay, because I drove that 5N as fast as I could, type of thing. Okay, but yeah. So anyway, I got in the car, and immediately I'm like, whoa, dude, this thing it's a cockpit. It wraps around you and everything. It's got like all the displays wrap around you and everything. I was like, man, this is a nice interior. The Ioniq 5 has a nice interior. I don't think I've never driven one until then. I've only just, my neighbor has one across the street, by the way. Yeah, Hyundai has got some really impressive stuff, is what I want to say. They've come leaps and bounds from, like 10 years ago. That's what I say, all right, guys? 10, 20 years ago. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, they're in the EV game now, and it was a whole lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Actually, I didn't get a video of it, so I have to talk about it here now. I totally forgot. Yes, I didn't get a video of it because the guy didn't know if I could wear the helmet. All right. I should have tell him like, hey, can you ask somebody if I can wear my helmet? If they say yes, and yeah, go ahead, wear it. So I didn't wear it. I got to drive it though, guys. So since I'm talking about this one, I'll tell you how the course goes. You just pull out, and there's a slow section. All right. There's a slow section where all the vendors are parked. All right. All the car companies are parked, and then once you go out, you drive at like 25 miles an hour down the street. All right, it's an actual street. You have to have a driver's license and all that stuff. And then you go to a course. All right, they have an open course there, and there's 2 lanes. All right, guys. There's like a drag launch lane where you can go 0 to 60. You can get faster than that, guys. Okay, yeah. And then there's like kind of a autocross course, all right, where like there's some corners that you can go around and you can drive, spiritedly, okay, type of thing, all right, guys. So one's a straight course and one's a curvy course, all right. So and the guy was like, oh, he actually gave me a choice. Some of them don't. They just tell you where to go. But he gave me a choice. Do you want to do the curvy course or do you want to do the straight line course? I'm like, The curvy course, of course, because I'm driving a sports car, right? That's what the 5N is known for. You know, it's a hot hatch, okay? It's fun to drive type of thing, and boy did I drive it, right? And he was showing that you could do different stuff. I think you can. There's a torque split. You can send more power to the front. You can make it more even, or you can set more power to the rear. It's kind of like the GR Corolla. And yeah, it was pretty fast, and man, the cornering was sharp. It was really nice. I really enjoyed driving that car. I wish I could have got a video of it. I actually wanted to go back and ask him again if I could shoot a video, but I never got a chance to come back. So that was my first demo drive. All right, guys. And then I think I drove a Toyota next. Okay. I actually wanted to drive the Prius, and I wish I did because I didn't get to the next day, guys. I've never driven the new Prius yet, alright? The 5th gen Prius, I've never gotten to drive it, alright? And they're so hard to find, they keep on selling out, man. They're even more demand than the RAV4 Prime, man. It's crazy. Maybe I should rent one day. That's what I might do. You know, I'll rent one and do DoorDash with it or something. Yeah, I wanted to drive they had the Prius Prime, I think is what they had, okay? And unfortunately, I was waiting in line to drive something, and they're like, hey, the BZ4X is here. Does anybody want to drive the BZ4X? I'm like, well, you know what? I haven't driven the BZ4X before. So I drove the BZ4X, okay, guys? And I don't know. I didn't really want to drive it, so I didn't really ask if I could wear my helmet so I can get a video. So yeah, there's that, guys. But yeah, I did drive it, and you know what? I don't know what everybody's complaining about. It's a decent car. I don't know why everyone's saying bad stuff about the BZ4X. It's an excellent car, man. I think it was the all-wheel drive version. It had like 200 plus horsepower. So I have a RAV4 Prime. It was smaller than the RAV4 Prime. Okay, when I got in it, I was like, oh, so what I think it's similar to is like a Corolla Cross. Okay, if you look at the Corolla Cross, it looks very similar to a RAV4, but it's actually smaller than the RAV4, and I think that's what the BZ4X kind of felt like more. Okay, it's not. I always thought it was like an electric RAV4, but it's not. It's more like a Corolla Cross. Okay, it even has like the same kind of interior and stuff. It has that the camera that watches you, so like, you know, it wakes you up or something. It makes you like jiggle the steering wheel or something. Yeah, that kind of stuff. All right. That if you're not looking at the steering wheel, it bugs you or something. I don't like that, guys. My RAV4 doesn't have that, by the way. Yeah, so I drove it, and I thought it was an okay car, guys. So I don't know what everybody's complaining about. I think if you can get it cheaper than the competition, I would definitely, you know, say go get one. You know, I mean, it doesn't have the most range. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. You don't have the best range, but you know, it was a good car to drive. I don't know why people's complaining about it so much. It seems alright to me. Okay, I actually enjoyed driving it. So, alright, unfortunately I didn't get to drive the Prius. After that I went to Lexus. Okay, so Lexus didn't have a line, and I drove, oh, was it Lexus? Yeah, well, I did drive a Lexus. I drove the Lexus RX 450 or 480 or something. The equivalent to like a RAV4 Prime, alright? I wanted to see what the difference between the Lexus and the Toyota were, alright? It's very similar to the okay. The driving experience is very similar to a RAV4 Prime, okay? It's got, you know, the 300 horsepower and all that stuff. It drives nice. It's big and spacious like a RAV4. In fact, I think it's actually a little bigger than the RAV4, and it's more expensive than the RAV4, obviously, because it's a Lexus, right? The interior is kind of more luxurious. The interior looks different than the RAV4, okay, guys? But like the size is kind of similar to a RAV4, and the driving feel is like exactly like the RAV4, right? The displays are a little fancier. It's a fancy RAV4 Prime, right? That's all I'll say, all right, guys? They did have a smaller one to drive also, okay? But yeah, I liked it. I think if you're in the market for something like a RAV4 Prime, but you want something a little fancier, more luxurious, then that RX is what you want, alright, guys? I think it was the RX 450 or 480 or something. Yeah, so some 480 plus, 450 plus, something like that. Yeah, I just wanted to try it out, and because they had no line, right? Oh, they had Porsche there too. I was gonna try to drive a Porsche the next day, but I think the last demo drive I did for today was Mustang Ford Mustang Mach-E Rally. Okay, I got to drive the rally version, and they let me wear my helmet. All right, so I actually got a video of that. All right, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that one. All right, because I didn't. I got an actual video of me driving it. Okay, so check that out. All right. It's probably gonna be it's probably gonna be in the it's probably gonna be on the Hades Omega channel, all right, there where all the car stuff is, all right, because it's a car, it's not a motorcycle. Okay, so that it'll be in that channel, but I will put a link at the end of the video if you guys want to see it. Okay, yeah, that was fun to drive. Yes, it was very fun to drive. Okay? I would say, man, if I didn't want to, if you couldn't afford that Ioniq 5N, then the next best thing is a Mustang Mach-E. Mustang Mach-E, like, yeah, you know, it's a goofy looking. Yeah, I wish they didn't call it a Mustang, guys. It kind of looks like a Mustang, but it's not, you know, type of thing. But it was great to drive. I really did enjoy driving it. All right, check it out. All I can say is it's tail happy, guys. Okay, it's a drift mobile. All right. And it's cool. It kind of does look like a rally car. It's got the wheels and everything. I kind of dug it. All right. It was like a live video. Okay, so yeah, that was it for the first day, and then I went back, and then I hung. Yeah, no, I think that was it. The show ended. It ends at 5, so you really don't got a lot of time to do stuff. You got to choose what you do wisely. So anyway, I went back to the Showoff booth. I tried to see whoever would let me drive still, and then all the booths were like closing down and stuff. So I went back to the Showoff booth and I hung out there for a while. There were some people that wanted to talk about the bike and stuff. Yeah, so it was just there and I wasn't there, alright guys? I think they wanted you to hang out by the bike and if people like look at it or the judges come by and they ask questions, yeah. But yeah, I went and did stuff, man. I didn't just go for the Showoff, guys. Like, sorry, guys. But yeah, I was there. I was talking about the red shift, alright? People asked me questions and stuff. And a lot of people hung out and they wanted to talk to me. They knew about, I actually got recognized, all right? And one of my buddies was there that I know from Barf, that I ride with sometimes. So we chatted, and you know what was funny? We were chatting for like an hour after the expo closed down, and literally we were like just walking around, and we could have done whatever, you know? Like I just told him, like, yeah, I'm part of the Showoff. We're like leaving now or something. We were just hanging out in the Showoff area for like a hell of a long time, guys. Everybody had gone. Like the guys that brought all the motorcycles and the bikes, they rode them home already. I had to leave the red shift there. Okay, guys. From what I heard, it got rained on the night before. I hope nothing is wrong with it, man. But a little rain's not going to harm the red shift. Okay, guys. So yeah, so that was the first day of the show. All right, I hung out with my buddy there for a while. I was taking some pictures. I took a picture of the Ioniq and stuff. We were kind of snooping around, looking at all the Toyotas and stuff. Yeah, we were looking at we were just hanging out, looking at the booths, and there was like nobody there. It was kind of cool. I was like, yeah, like I didn't have to worry about bumping into anybody or anything. There was like nobody there, guys. So that was it. I went home on the KLR. And then I came back in the RAV4 the next day, all right, and I parked in the back of the parking lot where we loaded everything, and the parking is hard to find there, guys. But I parked in the back where like the e-bike demos are, and I said, hey, I'm part of the Showoff. Can I go in here? And they let me in the back. I was like, okay, sweet. I don't have to walk all the way to the front and walk through the whole area, all right. The guy with the moped bike, he just said he rode in through the entrance. If you come in before the show, you can just ride in through the entrance. I guess so, if you're on a bike. All right. But I guess once the show starts at like 9, the expo starts. Oh, the expo starts at 10. So once it starts, you can't move anything. All right. You can't move any of the displays around. I mean, you can't ride anything or drive anything around. All right, because you might run somebody over, type of thing. Okay, safety thing. So yeah. Oh, what I did was I hung out there for maybe I hung out there for an hour or two talking to everybody, and then some people were asking questions. I put the trophies on the bike, and then I rode the red shift around the Showoff area. So check that video out. All right, I made a video about me riding around the Showoff area, showing you all the stuff in the Showoff booth areas. Okay. So check that video out. I'm not going to talk too much about it. And then HadesOmega went straight back to doing demo drives. Okay, so all right, I didn't get to it until like 11 o'clock because I was just shooting the shit with everybody in the booth. All right, it was kind of cool. I hung out with them. They're kind of a cool crowd type of thing. And that was pretty much it. I just went and did demo drives the rest of the day. All right, so I drove the Cybertruck. All right, the Tesla Cybertruck. That was the first time they were doing demo drives with it, and I got to do it, and it was kind of fun. It's an interesting vehicle, that's what I say. All right, it's not the prettiest looking vehicle in the world, but it is pretty rad. All right, and I got to drive it around. Would HadesOmega buy one of those? No, I wouldn't buy one of those. It's kind of too goofy looking, but I have to say it's kind of a cool vehicle to ride. They said it drives really well. I mean, I guess it does. Oh, that's the first time I've driven a vehicle with a yoke too. It was kind of weird. Like, I guess you can only go like this far, and then it turns all the way. And the Cybertruck does have the 4-wheel steering, so it turns really good. Okay, guys. I drove it on the curvy course. All right, and it was fun. So check that video out. All right, so Tesla was really cool. All right, thank you, Tesla, for letting me wear my helmet. All right, or at least the guys that were doing the demos, they let me wear my helmet the whole time. Okay, and there's plenty. But just in case you're wondering, there's plenty of room inside of a Cybertruck to wear a helmet. Okay, if you wanted to. All right, it was very spacious. It's big. I think that's the only reason that would be the reason I wouldn't buy a Cybertruck, is because it's too big. It's too big a vehicle for me. Yeah. It's like, I have to say, when you get in the Cybertruck, this just the size of it, and like everything about it, the vehicle it reminds me of closest is a Humvee. Okay, guys, HadesOmega was in the Army, and I drove plenty of Humvees. I've logged many hours driving a Humvee. It's not my favorite vehicle to drive, guys. All right, guys, but it's the size of it. It reminds me of a Humvee. All right, it definitely rides a lot better than a Humvee, though. All right, I'll tell you, if they were to make like a Cybertruck, like a official like Army vehicle, I would much prefer to drive that. Yeah, I think it would make a good a military vehicle, actually. I think they might be doing something like you could mount like a machine guns on it. It's already kind of bulletproof, guys. It's resistant to small arms fire, guys. Yeah, dude. I would think a Cybertruck would make a great military vehicle, to be honest. All right, but can it do the same stuff that a Humvee is? I don't think so, man. The Humvee's pretty heavy duty vehicle, all right, but it's awful to drive, guys. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I drove the Cybertruck. I tried to drive a freaking Rivian, man. But it has some goofy appointment system. So I found out that like not far from where I live, they do demo drives. So I'm actually gonna drive one next month. Okay, guys. And then so after I did the Cybertruck demo, they had Model S Plaids. All right, they had Model S Plaids, they had Model 3 Plaids, and they had a Model X Plaids. All right, maybe they had the Y Plaid also. I think the majority of the Teslas there were Plaids. Okay, so I was like, I've never driven a Plaid before. All right, so I've watched a lot of YouTube videos of people when they get on the throttle, when they smash it on the Tesla, like there's just this look of awe on people's faces. All right, like I watched Doug DeMuro's video, like when he gets on it, you're just like, whoa, is it really that? Is the acceleration really that freaking awesome? I have to see it I have to experience it for myself. And I did, guys. Alright, so check that video out, okay, guys? I got to drive a Tesla Plaid sort of fast, alright? I got to experience probably 80% of like the power that it could do, okay? The things that it could do in a straight line. Alright? I took it on the fast course, alright, guys? So check that video out. It's pretty awesome, man. All I can say is like you stomp on it and yeah, all right, it's pretty fast, and then you go like, whoa, it's not slowing down, it's going faster. Yeah, it is. The acceleration on that thing is impressive, guys. So check that video out, guys. I had to get a video of the experience, and they were totally cool with me wearing my helmet. Thank you, Tesla, for letting me do it. They actually sent me an email after that asking if I wanted to go to an event where I could drive it on a test track. Okay, because HadesOmega lives in San Jose, and Fremont, where they build them, it's not very far from where I am, and they have a test track there that they would let me drive it, and they also would let me do the full self-driving. So I think I'm gonna go do it. All right, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna get able to get video of it, but I'll see if I can. All right. Yeah. So that's the scoop, guys. All right. I think that was yeah. That was all I did. All Teslas the whole day. I think by the and I had to go eat lunch, so I went back to where the bikes were. I hung out for a couple hours. Yeah, I hung out for like an hour or two with the bike, and then oh no, yeah, I came back because they were going to do the judging for the Showoff. All right, so yeah, they've gone around, looked at the bikes. So while I was there, or when I came back from after the demo drives, guys, after my fantastic Model S Plaid demo drive, they went and they Neil, all right, they were gonna look at the bike and they were asking me questions about it. So I talked about the bike and stuff. All right, guys, like, oh, this is a 2018 Ultra Redshift SM. It pretty much came like this. I didn't really do much to it. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I've put handguards on it. It's been modified to do racing. It's got all the stuff to do the racing stuff on it. I actually raced this bike. Man, maybe I should have just worn my leathers the whole day, man. I don't know, to make it look cooler. I don't know, dude. Because the other guy was in his in like a jersey and pants, like dirt bike gear. Like, shit, dude. Yeah, maybe I should have worn my dirt bike gear. But I did wear the other day. I wore my motorcycle gear. All right, so because I rode the KLR. So, but yeah, they wanted to know about it. A bunch of people came by. Man, the amount of people like that touch the bike and they want to sit on the bike. I'm like, I should have put like a sign on it saying don't touch the bike, don't sit on the. I mean, if they wanted to sit on the bike, I would say like, hey, yeah, you could sit on the bike, but let me hold it so it doesn't, because it was on a paddock stand, okay. So the chances of them tipping it over, not very likely if I hold it, you know. So I let a couple people sit on the bike so to see how it feels. A lot of people came by. A lot of dirt bike people came by and they were asking questions about it, like how far can you ride it, how much this, or what's the history of it. So that's the stuff HadesOmega talked about to everybody. I'd imagine that's what they wanted me to do the whole time, to sit there, and if anybody wanted to look at the bike or talk about the bike, I would be there supervising the bike type of thing, okay? But yeah, so I hung out there, I ate lunch, and then they had the judging, all right? So remember, HadesOmega, as in the motorcycle, for the motorcycle category, there was only two bikes, guys. My Ultra Redshift and the Zero SR, all right, guys, all right? And so, and then after the judging, guess what? The Redshift lost. Okay, I lost to a Zero SR, guys. All right. I mean, maybe they're not really motorcycle people. All right, and they're not electric motorcycle people, but like this is a much more rare bike than a Zero SR. Right? Zero SRs are kind of like a dime a dozen. All right. And it didn't really look all that fancy to me. All right. I lost to a Zero SR with the cafe'd out Zero SR. They took all the fairing, the body stuff off, and then they put some, you know, funky stuff on there. They had he 3D printed like a pot that looks like a V6 with he 3D printed like a block of a V6, and he put plants in it and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. Is that really cool? I don't know. They did have another award for best performance vehicle. And then some lady that races a Model S, some lady that races a Model 3 won that one. All right, and I was thinking maybe if I didn't win the motorcycle one, I probably could have won the performance one, because I actually raced this, guys. Like they said, she races her Model 3. I'm like, well, I actually raced this Redshift, and this has like more than a handful of trophies that I took in back. All right, I raced it in the kart track and the pavement, and it's also street legal. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how how I didn't get the performance one. Maybe, well, it's probably because HadesOmega wasn't hanging out there talking to the judges and stuff. All right, so that's probably, that might have been why I lost. Okay, guys, is what I'm gonna say. So yeah, so that's the scoop, guys. I lost to the Zero SR. All right, and so that was the end of the show. I think the guy with the E-strap spike won the bicycle award, and I think that was it. And then there was a bunch of other. There was a best crew and best Tesla, best paint job, that type of stuff. I wasn't really interested in all that. Okay, guys, but yeah, they had some pretty cool looking cars there. Okay, all done up and everything. Okay, yeah, man, I'm kind of disappointed how my bike lost to a Zero SR show competition. But you know, it's kind of like put me off to the. HadesOmega, as I don't really care about the show all that much, guys. I'm more of the go type of person, all right, guys. I'm more go than show, all right. I don't really care what it looks like as long as I can go fast on it, type of thing, right? But I do kind of like a nice looking bike, and I have to say this is a sweet looking Supermoto, all right. Thanks to everybody that came by and took a look at it and had questions and was interested in it, all right. This is really, you know, this is a historical bike, man. How did it lose to a Zero SR, man? I don't know, man. And for even more cool points, they built this in San Francisco, where the Showoff was, all right? Well, technically it was in Alameda. So yeah, I still don't understand how it lost. You know, I had the racing numbers on the bike, all the racing equipment on the bike, all these cool the wheel stickers and all that, and Supermoto tire. Yeah, man. Maybe I should have just told them I built the bike myself. I don't know. I should have bullshitted more, type of thing. All right. Anyway, so we lost, and I think I went back to go do another demo drive, and I was able to drive. I drove a Nissan Ariya. All right. They were closing up all the booths. It was like 4 o'clock already, guys. Yeah. The judging was at 4. It was supposed to be 3:30, but then they moved it back to 4. Then by the time it got done, it was almost time, because the Expo, the show ends at 5, right? So like I didn't really have all that much time, and then I hopped in and I drove a Nissan Ariya. Okay, guys, they were not cool with me driving with my helmet. I had my helmet with me because remember Tesla let me drive with it, and I told them, yeah, you know, Tesla, they let me drive with it, and I got to drive the Ford with it too, and I got to do the hot laps with it on too. So so yeah, Nissan was not cool. So I'll say, like, hey man, I used to own a Z, you know, I had a Nissan before, I loved it, you know, but I don't know, actually, yeah, the first EV I ever drove, alright, the first EV I ever drove was a Nissan Leaf, by the way, guys, okay, yeah, the first battery electric vehicle I drove was a Nissan Leaf. I did a demo drive on a Leaf before, when they first came out, yeah, And so I got to drive that Ariya. I'll talk about it a little bit since I didn't get to get a video about it, alright? I wasn't happy that they wouldn't let me drive with my helmet on, alright? Yeah, they're just like, no, not gonna fly with me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you guys shit about it in my after action review, alright? So Nissan, you're not cool, alright? Not cool. It was an Ariya. There was plenty of space to move around in it. All right, I told them I was sour about it most of the trip, like most of the drive with my co-driver. Right? Yeah, and you know, it was, and I have to say, I did shoot a video of it. I shot a video about it. I'll probably post it somewhere, but I shot a video of what the experience of driving the Ariya was. And you know what it reminds me of? A Volkswagen ID4. And a Volkswagen wasn't at the show, by the way. The gauge cluster looked almost exactly like the way the ID4 was set up. The way it drives was like the ID4. It's kind of small. It's smaller than the RAV4. I kind of didn't like it, guys. It wasn't, and I took it on the which one did I take it on? I think they let me rip on it on the autocross course, the curvy course. They let me rip on it there, and I got it to do a drift. I did a Scandinavian flick with it, guys. So I jerked the wheel right, and then I jerked the wheel left real quick, and I got it to drift a little bit, and then I guess the traction control kicked in or something. I guarantee you this: if that had been the Mach-E, I would have like just got style points the whole way. It would just drifted the whole time. All right, guys. Yeah. So there was that, guys. So I got to rip on it a little bit, and I compared to all the other vehicles that I drove, it didn't impress me at all, guys. Yeah, man. It doesn't hold a candle to the Ioniq, man. It's like I would rather drive my RAV4. It's bigger, you know, or the Lexus. I would rather, yeah, you know, the BZ4X was actually more fun to drive than it. Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry, Nissan. I didn't really dig it, and you guys kind of put me in a sour mood by not letting me wear my helmet with my camera, man. So like you know, sorry guys. I have to give you guys a bad review for your Aria, man. And that was one of the cars I was looking at to buy when I was buying my RAV4. Okay, guys, and I'm glad I didn't. It wasn't out at the time though, so you know, there's nothing I couldn't have tried it out anyways. But I did try out an ID4 when they first came out, and I didn't. I thought it was very similar to an ID4, and I like my RAV4 better than ID4. Okay, guys. So there's that. Okay, guys. But you know, the ID4 is an okay car. But yeah, I didn't really like that Aria all that much. So yeah. They tried so hard to get me to drive it, and then they wouldn't let me drive with my helmet on. Like, what the heck, Nissan? I don't think they didn't even give me anything, man. So I got a bunch of cool swag for doing these demo drives. So if you guys go there and you do a demo drive on their stuff, on their vehicles, they'll give you a gift, okay, guys? And so I got this I got this cool Nalgene bottle. All right, I've got a couple of Nalgene bottles. I'm kind of a fan of them, and Ford had the F-150 truck. All right, the F-150 Lightning truck, and they had the Mach-E. All right, and I think they had something else. I forgot what it was. But I drove the Mustang, so I got the Mustang one. So there it is. It's got the pony on it. Pretty cool. This is my souvenir, and you know, I'll have it all the time, and I'll say, yeah, I got this when I drove a Mustang Mach-E, and I liked it. So I think you should try to drive one too. Okay, so there's that. All right, thanks, Ford. So all I can say is, like, demo rides, demo drives sell cars, guys. Okay, especially you know, if you're looking into buying something. You should definitely drive it before you buy it, okay, guys? Because I would say rent it, all right? I would say go on one of these demo drives, drive it, and if you liked it, rent one, okay? See if you can rent one on Turo or wherever you could find a place to rent it. Some dealerships rent them too, okay? So that's my suggestion if you're looking at buying an EV, all right? I got this from Toyota. I got this cool lunch box, all right? Very cool. It's camouflage. HadesOmega used to be in the Army, so that's right up my alley. It's a little insulated lunch box. I like it, and it says Toyota on it. Thank you, Toyota. He got it for driving the BZ4X. Okay, and I got this Falcon towel from the Falcon booth, because I talked to the guy at the Falcon booth, and I told him, hey, I got Falcon tires on my RAV4. I love Falcon tires. They're hella expensive though, guys. Falcon tires, they never have much sales on them and stuff. But yeah, the Falcon and Dunlop. Actually, I race on Dunlop tires also, guys. So there you go. So if Dunlop and Falcon want to sponsor me for my videos, you know, send the email my way, HadesOmega@gmail.com. Okay? Yeah, man. Anyway, I got this cool Falcon and Dunlop towel. Okay. HadesOmega uses Dunlop Moto 3s for the Light B. All right. Okay. In fact, I got one sitting back there right now. There's a Moto 3 right there. All right. So those are my race tire choice for the Light B. All right. I run Michelin's on the Alta chip, by the way. Okay. And then yeah, I got Falcon tires on my RAV4. That's what gets me to and from the events, guys. And I love them. They're great. All right. Falcon tires are the best, but they're super expensive. Okay. There's a reason why they're good, and there's a reason why they cost a lot. Okay. So that was my Electrify Expo, Electrify EV Showoff experience. Okay, guys. I kind of mainly went there to demo motorcycles, and they didn't have any. Okay. I was hoping Riven would be there, even Livewire, you know, somebody, all right. But no, they didn't have any. So I'm disappointed in that aspect. All right, there must have been at some of the other shows. Maybe there was more bikes. I don't know, man. I will see maybe next year if I can do like an exhibition laps on their race course. I'll see if I can get with somebody like, hey, can we do like when you guys are taking a break or something? Can we do like an exhibition? You know, because they don't race motorcycles, guys, unfortunately. So there's that. Would I enter the bike in the show next year? I don't know. Maybe next year if they do it, if I can do it again for the show off, we'll bring the Light Bee next time. All right. You do get a show off wristband. All right. You get 2 of them. All right, guys, for $30. So I think that's a good deal if you enter something in the show. And it was fun. It was fun to show off this piece of history right here. Okay, guys. I'm sure quite a few people got a kick out of it. I heard some Zero employees. Yeah, there were some people that said like they actually worked on this bike, guys. the guy that won the electric motorcycle show-off award trophy. He said his company 3D printed some of the connectors on this bike. Okay, guys, that's what he said. Yeah. So that's pretty wild, man. And then I heard some people from Zero that worked at Zero that kind of worked on this bike. They saw this bike also. Okay, just in case you guys don't know, Alta Redshift SM is a very rare bike. All right, I've only seen 3 in existence. All right, in real life I've only no. I've only seen 2 in real life. I saw one for sale in like Santa Maria or something. Okay, so yeah, if you see one, snatch one up, man. They don't go very far, but there you are, fun to ride. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, thanks for everybody that came by and took a look at my bike. All right, and thanks for hanging out. And thanks for watching my after action review of the Electrify Expo EV and the EV show off. All right, so that was my experience from the start from before the show, during the show, and then this is like the after show. Okay, so would I do it again? Yeah, you know what? I think I would do it again. But next time we'll bring the Light Bee. But the Light Bee is not a pretty looking bike, man. It's all beat up and stuff, and yeah, it's got a shit ton of mods on it, but it's beat the fuck up, man. It doesn't look nearly as pretty as the Redshift, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Sometimes I look at the Redshift and I'm like, damn, that's one nice looking bike. All right, so but I guess it's just a sad day for Supermoto, guys. It's just people aren't into Supermoto bikes anymore, man. Yeah, that must be it, man. That nobody really knows about Supermoto anymore, and I guess a cafe'd out Zero SR is cooler than an electric Supermoto bike, guys. What can I say? Okay, thanks for watching. That's HadesOmega's after action review for the Electrify show off. Yeah, I got all this cool swag. We're gonna take it to the racetrack tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching. HadesOmega out.